Karleen Roy, who lives at the intersection of luxury and culture. She is the founder of the Vanity Group, a luxury lifestyle management agency that caters to celebrity and A-list clients. And without having to focus on the bio itself, she is a woman who has inspired me as I met her on the campus of Howard University. And as an entrepreneur now, she is the voice that I listen to in building my business and committing to both equity, excellence, and fun at the same time.
Oh my God, thank you for that glowing intro. I feel like I need to be like in a ball gown or something. Oh my God, thank you so much.
People talk about internships as grunt work. People talk about internships as the in-between thing that you do, but you made the internship itself a part of your career journey, which is what I'm hoping to do with students at Rosecrans.
Interns are so important. It was such a big step in my career, and at the different jobs and organizations I've been to, I've always had awesome interns that I've later have mentored and watched them grow and blossom. And I just see how integral they are to an organization and how it is such I don't even want to say a stepping stone, but it's the start of your career if you do it right. Everyone talks about starting at the bottom, but I don't think it's starting at the bottom. I think it's starting. Just you start. You have to start at the beginning. So that's how I shift that narrative.
Tell us what your internship was and how that actually helped you transition into your career.
Yeah, absolutely. So I, as you mentioned, am a proud Howard University Bison graduate. And if anybody is listening and went to Howard or knows anybody from Howard, you know that we are the proudest people on the planet. We can't wait to scream and shout how we went to Howard, no matter what the question is. So I'm a proud Bison, and I graduated without a job. I was a PR major, and I thought that I could easily find a job, and I applied all over the United States of America, specifically focusing on New York City, and I couldn't find a job, like no place, no how, and I'm like, oh, what am I going to do next? And a chance meeting one summer in New York, the summer I graduated, I met a young woman. She worked as an assistant at Def Jam. She was the PR assistant. So I begged her, I was like, oh my God, please, this is my dream job. I want to work in PR, put me on. How can I be down? Like all these things. I was just like so eager and just like wanted to be down. And she was like, we are not hiring at the moment, but you can be my unofficial intern. So I'm like, what the hell is an unofficial intern? So back then, back in the day, I'm not going to date myself, but back in the day, if you were a real intern at Def Jam, and I'm sure in most organizations, you had to be a college student. So I wasn't a college student, but I was a recent college student, which means that I really couldn't be in the program. So the agreement we had was that I would be an unofficial intern, which means you basically sneak in the building as a visitor and you just stay all day and work. So every day I would show up as a visitor. I would get my visitor badge like I was, coming to see someone for a meeting, and I just stayed all day and worked. And I was an unpaid intern in the publicity department for about a year. Unpaid. I don't even know how I lived, how I ate. I stayed on my girlfriend's futon at the time in her small studio apartment. Like we really was thugging it out. And that opportunity changed my life in such a way because I met so many amazing people. The people that I met there actually have championed me my whole career. So they have, referred me for jobs at one point in my career journey, or now that I have the Vanity Group, they've hired me for jobs. They've mentored me, they've coached me, they've told me where I've gone wrong, and they've had to check me and say, let me tell you where I went wrong. But I've learned so many life lessons that I still keep with me today. This is 15 years later, maybe even longer than that. But that was such a big moment in my career just because it opened up my eyes. It's one thing to say, I want to work in the music business, or I want to be a chef, or I want to be a whatever, and you really don't have the hands-on experience to do it. So that hands-on experience just is what kicked it all the way off for me. If I never got that internship, I wouldn't be where I am today, and you probably wouldn't know me.
Oh my goodness. And I love, there's a really powerful lesson that you gave for everyone watching. You were willing to do an unpaid, sneak in the door, work all day. It was not glamorous. You were not signing up for an internship where you were at P. Diddy's house having lunch, talking about projects. You signed up to work. You signed up to get experience. And that was the entryway to this fantastic experience you have now.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope that young people today take a page out of my book and apply it to their own. And not that I think anybody should be on the street and just can't afford to live the life, but be willing to take a chance that every opportunity that comes to you is not going to be wrapped in a pretty bow. A pretty bow would have been, you're going to get paid and you're going to get a stipend and you're going to get this and we're going to give you a subway card to get back and forth. Like that is what, attracts people to things. But I was able to recognize at a very young age or have discernment to realize that this was an opportunity. It just wasn't packaged in the most glamorous way. And when I say glamorous, like not getting paid. So I worked in a video closet. It's like back then, after an artist shot a video, they actually had videotapes and it was like in an old closet. Think of like your junk closet at home. It was like, oh, throw that in the video closet. And that's where me and the other interns, we sat and we worked and we were just so happy for that it was our corner office. It was dusty as hell. I think it was like a folding table, but like we made it work. And it was like, that was our space. We had our little posters on the wall, what wall space we had. So yeah, absolutely. Every opportunity is not going to come packaged in a red bow.
Yes, but there are sort of these transferable sort of mirrored experience. So I think that it's amazing that you started in a corner office that you thought was dusty, that wasn't supposed to be an office, and now you've created a corner office for yourself as an entrepreneur.
Amen. Yeah. A very expensive one.
A very expensive one. Yes. You worth it, girl.
A very expensive one.
Yeah. So I know that you've learned a lot of lessons from that internship itself to now. But if you were to point to one lesson that you've learned that still rings true to you as a boss of an enterprise, what would you say that lesson is?
That's a good one. The Vanity Group has been built on relationships. So if anybody who's watching who doesn't know me, I own and operate a creative events agency, and we primarily produce red carpet celebrity events for anybody who's everybody in Hollywood, mostly musicians, singers, Cardi B, Justin Bieber, Puff, DJ Khaled, you name it, we work with them. And with my business being based on relationships, one thing I learned at Def Jam was anybody you meet, save their phone number. You don't know when you're going to need them again. You may think that it's just a chance encounter that they passed your desk or you got their email or you got their phone number. Anybody you meet, save their phone number, save their email. And in your email, put when and where you met them, or in your contacts, when and where you met them. And that has stayed with me the whole time because this industry or the world that we live in is based on relationships. So not only should you be saving the people that you meet or the people that you come in contact with, but also like staying in touch with them, like checking on them, offering a service, like seeing if they need something, if you can offer it for them. So anybody you meet, save their contacts, stay in touch with them has been the biggest life lesson for me that I learned as an intern, specifically working in PR, which is all about relationships and contacts and networks. But yeah, save everybody's contacts that you meet.
I love that. And that's something that people can take away with them as a tangible hard skill in any industry. If you in STEM, if you interning at a hospital, if you're interning in entertainment, it don't matter.
Don't matter.
And the last question that I want to ask is, Generation Z is coming into the workforce 61 million strong. They will be the most diverse generation, with 51% plus will be people of color. So our focus is on making sure that Gen Z is prepared to be great. What would you say is the most recent idea or project from a Gen Zer that blew your mind?
That's a great question because Gen Z is next. They have their finger on the pulse. They are fearless, and they have so many more resources that we never would have had. I actually just launched a program called the Event Academy, which is our online destination for event professionals who are trying to level up and sharpen their skills and just get educated. And I was searching long and hard for a graphic artist that could really tell the story, of Black girl magic, tell the story of flyness, really tell a story visually. And I couldn't find anybody. And then one day God forbid, because I love and hate Instagram. I look on Instagram and I find this young woman's page, young Black girl. She is a young Black lady, Gen Z, super talented. I go to her page. She's a graphic artist and her work blew me away. I give her a call. I hire her for the project and she immediately blew me away. Just the way that she approached things, her ideas and what she contributed was so fresh to me. She put a new twist on everything. She also was like super savvy, was like everything that had to do with tech. I could barely use my phone. And she was like, in 2 seconds, like, I can get this done. And I'm like, this is the power of Gen Z. They just have so many more resources and life to give to projects. So her name is Tammy Designs, if anybody wants to follow her on Instagram. And she's dope. Hire her, professional, creative, dope, always on time. And also was about, this is important, I meet a lot of creatives who lack business acumen. One thing about her, she had excellent business acumen. She knew about, business affairs and agreements and invoicing and things being on time and deliverables. Like she nailed it. So she really just gave me more hope for Gen Z because she came in and she killed it that only someone young and exciting like that could do.
Thank you, Karleen. We are so grateful to follow you. Follow Karleen Roy's company, The Vanity Group, at The Vanity Group on Instagram. Thank you, Karleen, for spending time with us today. Keep up those boss moves. We following you and we celebrate you.